Good morning. It is Wednesday, April 8th, and we are here for our Chapter 12 Study Guide review. Start off with the question of the day. The result of simultaneous attraction between two appealing possibilities, neither of which has any negative qualities, is what kind of conflict? So, the result of simultaneous attraction to two appealing possibilities, neither of which has any negative qualities, is what kind of conflict? And when you think about that, remember we talked about how if you were up for two jobs, had been offered two different positions, and both were similar in pay and benefits and hours and working conditions, it would be that type of conflict. Okay. Um, so obviously today we don't have the ability for me to ask you questions and have you answer them. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the question. I'm going to give you the answer. Since this is being recorded, if you do not catch an answer, you can always back up the recording and then go ahead and get the correct answer. Okay. A little bit different than in class, but then again, everything's a little bit different than in class with all this going on. So let me just go ahead and get started. This is the Chapter 12 Study Guide review. Number one, what is any environmental demand that causes a state of tension or threat that requires a change of adaptation called? That's stress. Okay, so answer number one is stress. Number two, what is an attempt to balance our desires against the demands of the environment? And that's adjustment. So number two is adjustment. Number three, stress is experienced when? And that would be in pleasant and unpleasant situations. It can be good things that are going on or bad things that are going on. They both can cause stress. Okay. Number four, the SRRS focuses on stress that arises from dramatic one-time events. So number four is dramatic one-time events. Number five, major events can cause what, according to Lazarus? And Lazarus said that they can cause a ripple effect to stress that triggers little hassles that give rise to stress. So they can cause a ripple effect that triggers little hassles that can cause a rise in stress. Okay. What occurs when a person is prevented from reaching a goal because someone or something is in their way? And that was frustration. That was number six. What occurs when a person is prevented from reaching a goal because someone or something is in the way? And that is frustration. Okay. Number seven, how many common sources of frustration did Morris identify? And he identified five. Okay. So answer number seven is five. Approach and avoidance are two opposite tendencies of conflict that was described by who? That would be Lewin. Lewin, Lewin. Number nine, the result of simultaneous attraction to two appealing possibilities, neither of which has any negative qualities, is what kind of conflict? And that would be approach. So number nine is approach. Number 10, what does the phrase caught between a rock and a hard place refer to? What does the phrase caught between a rock and a hard place refer to? And that would be avoidance conflict. Neither one are any good. You try to avoid both of them. Number 11, which of Lewin's tendencies are involved when you want to convince your boss that they are wrong? That would be approach avoidance. So which of Lewin's tendencies are involved when you want to convince your boss that they are wrong? That would be approach avoidance. Okay. Number 12, which researcher would be interested in how people appraise a potentially stressful event? And that would be Taylor. Taylor would be the researcher. Okay. Number 13, how do optimists view events? As challenges. Okay. How do optimists view events? As challenges. Number 14, how did Cabasa describe the feelings of being in control of one's life? He said that was hardness. Okay. 15. What is the term that psychologists refer to as the ability to bounce back after extreme, prolonged stress? That would be resilience. Someone is said to be resilient if they keep bouncing back from problems. 16. What is it called when a person makes cognitive and behavioral effort to manage psychological stress? That would be to cope. So number 16 is to cope. 17. What is defensive coping a form of? And that would be self-deception. 17. What is defensive coping a form of? That would be self-deception. Number 18. What is it called when we acknowledge a stressful situation directly and attempt to find a solution to the problem or attain a goal? That would be confrontation. Okay, confrontation for number 18. Number 19. What is one of the most common and effective ways to cope with conflict? Compromise. Compromise is the most effective way to cope with conflict. Number 20. What is a positive and realistic adjustment when a person realizes that their adversary is more powerful than they are? And that would be withdrawal. You just withdraw from the whole thing and try to avoid the situation completely. Number 21. Stressful events of the same severity had more impact on emotional lives of which class of people? And that would be lower class subjects. Lower class subjects. 22, you got a couple fill in the blanks. I'm just going to read the answers in as I go, and then I'll highlight the answers after I'm done. Women report more stress than men immediately after an automobile accidents and more stress several months later. So the answer to both blanks on 22 is more. More stress immediately after and more stress several months later. 23. What percent of deaths are directly related to human behaviors? 50%. Okay. 24. What stage in the general adaptation syndrome is the fight or flight response similar to? And that would be alarm reaction. What stage in the general adaptation syndrome is fight or flight response similar to? That would be alarm and reaction. 25. During which stage of GAS does our body become more alert and sensitive and our emotions run high as we mobilize our coping resources? And that would be resistance. 25 is resistance. 26. What is one of the most startling implications of Celine's theory? And it's psychological stress may cause disease, which is one of the most startling implications of Celine's theory. Psychological stress may cause disease. 27. What hormone increases blood pressure and can trigger arrhythmias and increase cholesterol levels? And that's cortisol. Cortisol for number 27. 28. What is the type A behavior pattern a predictor of? And that would be coronary heart disease, or CHD, coronary heart disease. 26. What disorder has been linked to coronary heart disease? Depression. Depression has been linked to coronary heart disease. 30. What are foreign substances that invade and are harmful to our bodies called? And that would be antigens. Antigens. All right. 30. There has been a connection between stressful noise and cancer demonstrated in mice. So the answer to 31 is cancer. 32. Relaxation techniques, according to studies, will improve immune system functioning. So the answer to 32 is improve. 33. Paying attention or praying or attending church services regularly have been shown to markedly lower the rates of depression in elderly people. So 33's answer is markedly lower. Okay. 34. How many portions of fruit and vegetables per day do most scientists agree that a healthy diet should have? And that's 5 portions of fruits or vegetables per day. 5. 35. When does the tendency to start smoking begin? During adolescent years. So 35 is adolescent years. 36. How many distinct stages do people who lose their job react to the related stress? So how many distinct stages do people who lose their job react to the related stress? And that's 4 different stages. Okay. 37 says, out of the following, which are effects of divorce and separation? And the answer there would be B on your sheet. Most children of divorce suffer long-term problems. Most children of divorce suffer long-term problems. 38. What is a person's first reaction to a natural disaster? Shock. Okay. 39. The well-adjusted individual, according to Barron, often refuses to adjust to society's demands. Often refuses is your answer for 39. Number 40. Individuals who are well-adjusted attempt to actualize themselves according to Maslow. Actualize themselves is the answer to number 40. 41. Is adjustment an attempt to balance our desires against the demands of the environment? And the answer is yes. 42. Does stress result from life or death situations only? The answer is no. It can also result from good situations. Remember, we talked about a wedding and how stressful the events leading up to the wedding could be. 34. Are petty annoyances, irritations, and frustrations that occur called hassles? And the answer is yes, they are called hassles. 44. Do we feel frustration when we feel forced to speed up, intensify, or shift the direction of our behavior to meet higher standards of performances? And the answer is no. We don't feel frustration on average, but the answer is no. 45. Do people just wait for events to resolve the conflict for them in the approach or approach conflict? And the answer is no. You eventually have to pick. You have to decide which one you're going to actually go for on the approach. 46. Is faulty appraisal of situations often the source of psychological distress? And the answer is yes. So 46 is yes. 47. Does direct coping refer to an action when we take to change an uncomfortable situation? Does direct coping refer to any action we take to change an uncomfortable situation? The answer is yes. 48. Are confrontation, compromise, and withdrawal all forms of defense coping? The answer is no. 49. Are defense mechanisms types of direct coping? The answer is no. And then 50. Does the fight or flight response take the same form no matter what the nature of the threat is? And the answer is yes. Okay, so that's all the way through the study guide. If you have problems with some of your answers, go back and play it over again. So tomorrow, I'll post a question of the day. I'll put on your test and have it due on Monday. I'll also do just a short video just to remind you and give you any messages I need to give you. Friday and Monday are no school days, but I'm allowing you to Monday to get your test done because I know some have jobs that they're called to come to work on, and you have other things going on with other classes. And I know that this is a little different and sometimes can be stressful. So I'm going to give you a little bit more time. Hey, today is supposed to be a great day outside. I encourage you to get out and get around. Practice social distancing. I know a lot of you aren't, but that's what they say we're supposed to be doing. Just try to be safe. Take care of yourselves. And I'll come back and post your test tomorrow and also post the question of the day. Have a great day.